Stop everything. Because what I'm about to share isn't entertainment, it's a collapse unfolding in plain sight. Picture a woman already weighed down by betrayal, heartbreak, and constant chaos. Now imagine her pulled even deeper by a secret document dangerous enough to wipe out her entire career. That woman is Chrisean. Tonight, her name exploded across streams, feeds, and headlines. Not for another altercation or messy online rant, but because Jaguar Wright claims she possesses the ultimate evidence: a list, a record, a loaded time bomb tying Chrisean's career to backdoor deals, family betrayal, and manipulation that turned her life into a public spectacle. Think about it: a sister's betrayal whispered in secrecy, a partner's name circled in red, producers counting profits while a young woman breaks down in front of the world. And behind it all, a blurred sheet of paper flashed on screen just long enough to ignite the internet. Blogs amplified it, people broke down over it, hashtags like #DropTheList trended for hours. For years, Chrisean was seen as reckless, a woman stumbling through storms of her own making. But what if those storms were built around her? What if every outburst, every breakdown, every tear was shaped for money, clicks, and views? The harshest twist came when Jaguar claimed the list didn't land in her lap randomly. She said someone inside Chrisean's circle blood put it there. If true, Chrisean isn't only battling outsiders, she's fighting betrayal from those closest to her. This isn't entertainment, it's destruction, and by the time it surfaced, it already seemed too late. The imagery was heavy. This wasn't another gossip headline, it was heartbreak disguised as news. Tonight, the name on everyone's tongue wasn't just Chrisean, it was a hidden list. Whispered in shadows, exposed on a blurred paper by Jaguar Wright. Chrisean was already gasping for stability in public view, a toxic connection with Blueface, endless battles with her sister Taseki, contracts with Zeus that seemed like shackles instead of support. She was drowning. And just when it looked like she might escape, Jaguar dragged her further under. Jaguar didn't just allude, she didn't just imply, she said she had proof, real receipts, records with dates, names, betrayals sharp enough to wound. And when she hinted Chrisean's name was tied to promoters, producers, even rappers, the internet froze. If it was real, then Chrisean wasn't only caught in chaos, she was trapped in a machine profiting from her pain. Picture that for a second: a woman barely holding it together. While every tear became a clip, every fight became a meme, every breakdown padded someone's pocket. What the world saw as disorder may have been staged, engineered by Zeus executives, by promoters, even by Blueface. Jaguar called it destruction by design. People couldn't turn away. The most gutting part was Jaguar saying the list didn't come from strangers. She insisted it came from within Chrisean's family. That truth shook people more than anything else. Because if your own blood can sell you out, who's left to trust? Suspicion quickly shifted to Taseki, the sister who had gone live countless times dragging Chrisean's name through the mud. Whether accurate or not, the possibility shattered many. And then came the blurred paper. Jaguar leaned toward her camera, lifted a page of typed names and smirked. Screenshots spread. Viewers zoomed in, circled letters, swore they saw BN, possibly Natalie Nunn. Blogs flooded timelines. Twitter erupted with #DropTheList. TikTok spun the blurred paper into endless conspiracy edits, and through it all, Chrisean's silence was louder than denial. When she finally went live pacing, crying, yelling, "Stop playing with me," hearts broke. Instead of defending herself, she looked cornered, hurt, betrayed, and lost. People didn't see strength. They saw a woman unraveling on camera again. This time it wasn't just Blueface pushing her toward collapse. It was the whole world watching, waiting for Jaguar to unload the full bomb. At this point, it wasn't gossip anymore. It was a downfall caught in real time. Jaguar knew exactly what she was doing. Her words cut like blades, her smirk poured gasoline. Every blurred page, every cryptic warning left Chrisean fighting for more than her career. She was fighting for her soul. If the list was real, and if it ever dropped and filtered, it wouldn't just end Chrisean's story, it would burn everyone tied to her rise. That's why the internet wept, because this wasn't just a scandal. It collapsed. People thought Jaguar's first life was bad, but nothing prepared anyone for what came next. When she went live again, she didn't tease, she didn't blur, she didn't hint. This time she was steady, calm to calm, like someone holding a grenade with a pin already pulled. Jaguar leaned into the lens and said, "You'll think Chrisean is just Zeus chaos. No, baby. She's tied to names that have been pulling her strings from the start." The chat exploded, tens of thousands demanding answers. And then she dropped her first bomb: Blueface. Jaguar declared Blueface wasn't just Chrisean's toxic partner. He was one of the enablers on the list. Jaguar claimed that Blueface worked directly with Zeus producers, carefully shaping Chrisean's public breakdowns, setting up her outbursts, and ensuring that every chaotic moment became viral content. According to her, It was never about love or conflict, it was about money. She accused him of cashing in on her suffering. Every scream, every visible bruise, every tear turned into revenue. The internet collapsed under the weight of it. Fans gasped, tweets exploded. TikTok edits paired Jaguar's claims with clips of Chrissy crying during interviews. And suddenly the pieces felt like they were clicking together. Suspicion that lingered for years hardened into something that cut like a scar. Jaguar insisted Blueface wasn't acting alone. She said the list tied Chrissy to promoters, producers, and rappers who treated her pain as a product. And then she spoke the words that turned everything upside down. This isn't random, it's design. What broke hearts even deeper was her suggestion. That betrayal came not only from executives and partners, but from family. The implication turned toward her sister, Taseki. Viewers connected the dots: past arguments, livestream attacks, bitter feuds, and hashtags like #SisterSnitch and #the XPOSED surged across platforms. People didn't want to believe it, yet many admitted it felt impossible. Blueface then fueled the fire himself. He posted, then quickly deleted. One haunting line: "List ain't scary when everybody already knows the truth." It wasn't a denial. It wasn't even a defense, just a cryptic shot that fans read as confirmation. Was he admitting Jaguar's list was real? Or mocking the chaos he was accused of shaping? Either way, the reaction crushed people. For Chrissy and supporters, it was betrayal stacked upon betrayal. How could the man she defended, fought beside, and even had a child with be profiting from her pain? And if her sister truly played a role, then she was surrounded by vultures, left alone in a life built for exploitation. Jaguar's claims cut deep, but Chrisean's silence cut deeper. Hours stretched into a day with no livestream, no post, just a roar of the internet speaking over her. She was the eye of the storm, voiceless in its center. Then a blog known for leaking industry secrets dropped what they said was a fragment of Jaguar's list. The blurry screenshot showed bullet points, payment amounts, appearance fees, names linked to Blueface's camp, and one chilling line: confidential family member acting as intermediary. That image froze the internet. If authentic, it proved her pain was bought and sold. That the breakdowns were not chaos, they were contracts. Fans wept openly in comment sections. One viral post captured the heartbreak. She thought they loved her, they were selling her. Suddenly, Chrisean wasn't messy, she was merchandise. And as those words spread, the tragedy sharpened. Her story wasn't about a reckless girl spiraling out of control. It was about a young woman whose entire life was being scripted for destruction. Jaguar's smirk told everyone this was only the beginning. If what she shared was an appetizer, the main course had yet to come. People thought Jaguar had already gone too far, but her next move shifted everything. When she returned live, she wasn't ranting or flashing blurred papers. She was still, cold, deliberate, like someone holding a weapon already armed. She leaned into her camera and whispered, "You'll want to know why they scared of this list. Because it doesn't just expose Chrisean, it exposes everybody tied to her eyes." The chat went silent, even trolls stopped typing. This wasn't only about Zeus. Jaguar said the list included names of powerful figures and Hollywood artists, moguls, and rappers whose careers could shatter if the truth connected them to Chrisean. She didn't reveal names, but the hints were enough to spark chaos. She mentioned a chart-topping rapper who allegedly had ties to her before Blueface, and a television mogul accused of profiting off her suffering. Twitter and TikTok turned into crime boards, dissecting every old photo, every backstage clip, every coincidence like evidence. Names like Drake, DaBaby, and Lil Baby flew through timelines. And at the core of it all sat Chrisean, breaking under the weight of betrayal. The weight of betrayal. Finally, she cracked. Hours later, she went live, not pacing this time, not shouting. She sat in darkness, face swollen from tears, voice shaking as she whispered, "I don't know who I can trust no more. My own blood. My own man. Everybody is eating off me. Everybody is using me. Y'all laughing at my pain. But this ain't funny. This is my life. This is my soul." That moment silenced the internet. Fans who once mocked her now wept. The meme stopped. For the first time, the audience saw her not as entertainment, but as a young mother confessing her deepest despair in real time. Meanwhile, whispers spread that Zeus executives were panicking. Reports claimed lawyers scrambled behind the scenes, debating lawsuits or intimidation tactics to silence Jaguar. Another gossip outlet even claimed to have audio of producers admitting they needed Chrisean. Unstable to boost ratings, if true. It wasn't just reality TV, it was exploitation at its ugliest. Blueface made things worse. He posted another cryptic line. She knew the game when she played it. Some took it as confirmation of Jaguar's claims, others as him throwing her under the bus to protect himself. Either way, it was brutal. The man she defended for years now painted her as complicit in her own suffering. Then came the final blow. Another blog published what they claimed was an additional excerpt from Jaguar's list. Names were blurred, payments hidden, but one line stood clear: arrangements approved by Zeus, coordinated with family members, executed with artist camp. That one sentence was enough to convince skeptics, enough to send believers into overdrive, enough to make people pause and realize this might be more than gossip if the paperwork was real. Then Chrisean's entire life wasn't hers, it was scripted from the beginning. The internet mourned. One viral TikTok summed it up. She thought she was living her dream. Turns out she was living their script for years. Chrissy Rock was branded as chaos, as reckless, as uncontrollable. But the cruel truth was harsher. She wasn't chaos, she was choreography. Every breakdown timed, every feud monetized, every tear packaged for prime time. Jaguar ended her live with a chilling promise: if they don't stop, I'll drop the whole list. And when I do, this empire falls. And then her screen cut black. Silence followed. Everyone watching knew if she really released it, this wouldn't just destroy Chrissy Rock. It would drag down everyone who built her storm. This was no longer gossip, it collapsed, and it was only getting darker. Now the question hangs heavy: how much more can one woman endure? How many betrayals before the soul finally breaks? Tonight isn't about messy TV or Instagram fights. It's about a young mother stripped of trust, dignity, and maybe even her future. Jaguar Wright's words didn't just wound Chrissy Rock, they wounded everyone watching. Because when she cried on live, whispering that everyone was eating off her, it wasn't entertainment, it was painful. That's a tragedy, and if this list is real, then her life was never her own. It was taken, constructed, and sold off while the world laughed at the wreckage. But here's the harsh reality: silence is how they win. If this moment fades, if the powerful manage to bury the receipts, then Chrisean's story ends like every other exploited star, erased and blamed for chaos she never truly controlled. That's why this matters. Flood the comments right now. Write drop the list if you believe the truth should come out. Type prove it if you're done with smoke and mirrors. And if you feel Chrisean deserves justice, share this video with everyone you know. Because this isn't just her fight anymore. This is about every woman the industry chews up and spits out for profit. This is about exposing the machine that feeds on destruction, the one that turns heartbreak into business. And it's about reminding the world that behind every trending headline, there's a person still breaking inside. Don't just sit back, don't just scroll past. Be the voice they can't quiet, be the witness they can't erase. This isn't only about Chrissy Rock, this is about truth itself, and truth needs you.